Hello. As you can see, I am sick. Hello, guys. Hello, everybody. Welcome to our episode 3 of the podcast. Hello, Yinsu.
Hello.
I'm sick right now, so I'm sorry, guys, if you can hear that. Because the weather's not nice, you know? It's so bad.
Oh, that's true.
Anyways, how about you, honey? I know you're having a hard time also speaking.
Little sick, but it's all good when I'm with you.
Dang. It's the first episode that I won't have a camera because, like I said, I'm really sick right now. I don't feel
Mhm.
confident showing myself right now because my eyes are so watery and my nose is so red. I'm so embarrassed. But anyways, hi guys. Welcome to our episode 3 of the podcast Control A, where we talk about everything and anything under the sun. We don't really have a nice intro yet because it's new, you know? But anyways, let's try this again because usually we do this, but we fail. Okay. Hi, I'm Queasy. I'm a writer
I mean, it's the artist.
and we're married. Welcome to Control A.
Yay.
We don't have like a soundboard like laughing, you know. But yeah, here we are. We're going to be talking about art again. I'm very excited to do this. I'm sorry guys if last Wednesday we weren't here because something happened and I can't really tell you guys because it's something really personal, but everything's fine now. Everything's okay. We're back. So, I hope you guys like our avatars for now because we can't really show you guys everything right now. But today we're going to be talking about creative burnout. So, I think this is very timely for what's happening these days because I think like we're on a lay low also, no?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I won't say we're burnt out though. I think we're just doing a lot of things and being married and being an artist. It's really a lot. What do you think?
There's a lot. It is a lot. And, art is one of those things. I mean, it's not like other works, right? You can't just
Yeah.
you can't just like follow a script as for your work.
And you can't pause being married also and being a parent, you know?
It's true.
Well, recently we had our baby daughter. We got her a bed. I think it's those are like small wins, but I like it. I like talking about this because this is reality, and I think people don't really talk about it much because it's really unglorified. Being a parent. I think it's the most underrated skill. Like if you're a parent, you're just like, oh, you chose that, so suffer. No, but really, being a mom, and I don't know about you, honey, because, you're a dad. I don't know how you feel about being a dad. Yeah. I want to ask you first, before we go to the creative burnout part, because I think for some people, especially if they're an artist, it's hard, right, to be creative when there's a lot of distractions, right? So,
Yeah.
how do you deal with it while being a dad? Because this is your first time being a dad, also, so of course, it's interesting to know how you think about it.
Well, I think just the fact that I'm not single is already enough reason for me to, not. I have to, focus on my responsibilities first before myself, before my own exhaustion.
Mm.
I
Did
think it's the
you
same with you, right?
did you ever think that your life would be better without a baby?
Indeed, man.
Really?
I mean, there's a reasons for fighting for everything.
Oh,
Because if you're alone, you don't really have much reason to fight. For
that's
me,
true.
that's how it is for me at least.
That's true. I always think about it before. I had this like weird mom guilt because when we were just dating, I felt
Mm.
like I'm giving you a lot of responsibilities, and I think like I was really ashamed at first. Not being a mom, okay? Like I wasn't ashamed of being a mom. I was just ashamed that I'm not really in the same. Well, how do I call it? Like we're not on the same stage of life. Is that
Yeah, I get you.
weird? Like, I feel like, okay, I already did a lot of things, right? Like, I became a mom, I got married also before you. Um, I became a widow. It's like a lot, So, I was really scared, of who I'm gonna be with because I don't know if anyone can really take that much responsibility in one go because I'm not alone anymore, I'm not like a single girl that has no responsibilities. I really have a lot. And as you know, of course, you've met my family, you've met my baby. It's really interesting, like when I was starting to, fall for you and have this relationship with you, I was thinking, there's no way this guy's gonna stay. Like I really had that feeling before. Not feeling, but like assumption. Yeah, I had that assumption. And sorry if I thought about you like that.
Oh, well, I understand, but we're all equals, and I thought, you're such an amazing person.
Really, you really thought that?
Can't leave this for nothing.
Well, that's sweet. I was really scared before of how you're gonna take it, but you took it like a champ. I'm very proud of you. I think you've shown a lot of um how do I call it? It's like courage. Yeah. When we started dating, it was never an issue for you, and I think that was like the most impressive thing for me because you never made me feel that it was something that I should be ashamed of, or you know like I should not share about it. Even my husband before, my first husband, when I talk about him, it was the first time I never felt, you know, that I should not talk about him.
Hmm.
And I think it's something that I'm very grateful for because I have to talk about him, I have to because he's part of my life. And I won't say like it's a deal breaker if my partner wouldn't allow me to talk about him, but I think it would be a deal breaker if you don't allow my daughter to talk about him because
True.
that's her dad.
True. True.
And he will never be replaced in her heart. Although like you're never that type anyway. You never really asked us to, you know, to forget about him or yeah. I really
Yeah.
appreciate that.
Grief, grief. I can't really imagine it. I don't want people to stop doing it.
Yeah. That's true. So, yeah, thank you for your answer, I really appreciate your answer. So, since today we're going to be talking about creative burnout, I think it's really important to talk about this because as an artist, we don't really know sometimes if we are just tired or we're truly stuck, you know? And I guess like to start, let's share about our own creative burnouts. Like when you started feeling that way, because I think all of us felt this way, right? So I want to know, how was it when you had your burnout? Like how did you feel before? Hello? He's gone.
Thinking the first time I had a creative burnout,
Yes.
it's been a while. I think it's the first time I tried to take art seriously. This is
Mm-hmm.
when I had creative burnout because I had to study things.
You had a
Because
burnout because you had to study?
yeah, because
For real?
with art before, you just do it for fun. You do what you like to draw, but sometimes you have to get to a point where you draw things for the sake of getting better. That's a different story, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
I didn't resonate. I thought that getting better just meant doing like boring things like math, but I learned to enjoy the process, of getting over obstacles.
Uh-huh. Did you ever feel like you wish you just had a different talent? you know?
Uh,
No, I swear. Like, I don't know if that's normal, but I mean, it's not my time yet to share. But I just want to know. Did you ever feel like naramnasan mo na ba yun? Na you felt like, oh, yeah, I,
there were times, yeah,
yeah.
but then again, God gave me this so I could be with you.
Oh, you really think that you
I
had this
do.
talent because we're gonna be together?
Yes,
That's interesting.
I think he knows my life path.
Well, I think if you felt that way because you just had to do a lot of work, I think like that's different for me though. I'm okay with the work part. Okay lang sa akin magtrabaho ng madami. I like it even kapag challenging yung bagay. But I think what really made me feel like I was burnt out, like literally burnt out, um, so I think a lot of times in my life, the first time I felt this way, I think I was in college. And, like when you're in college, of course, you're very hopeful. You're just really on fire. Like you really know that you want to be this. There's nothing really that's holding you back, nothing stopping you. And then I think it's poverty because we were very poor. I mean, my family is very poor. And to be an artist is like a death sentence in a way. It's weird, right, to say it that way because it's like, okay, if you are an artist in a family like mine, what what money? I
Yeah,
mean,
true.
how are you going to get your money? I don't really have a safety net like most people do. Usually they have their parents, if things fail for them, they still have a home and a roof over their heads. I don't have that. I don't have my mom and dad. I don't
Yes.
have that kind of safety net. And it was really hard because how am I gonna survive if I'm just an artist? Sorry if I say it that way, but that's how I used to think of it. Like if I'm just an artist, talagang parang kung artist lang ako, that's the Tagalog, which is I would say like very sad because I think it's the reality of most artists in the Philippines, not just me. So yeah, when I was in college, when my aunt broke it to me that she can't really send me to school anymore, I was really sad. But I also knew that I can't be sad for too long. You know what I mean? It's sad to say that also out loud because I can't be sad for too long because I have to be responsible, because I have to find a job so that I could keep myself afloat. I could do, surviving. I don't really know yet the plans, I don't really have any plans for my future because, when you know nothing, of course, you can't really plan anything, right? You just kind of get along with it. So, I felt the creative burnout. Um, I started hating my talent. That's why I asked you the question because I started hating myself as an artist. Like I felt like, why is this my talent? Why is this something? It's so useless. Like I always think that way because I'm not really good with anything else. That's how I used to see it. I just like to be creative. I like to write, but how can I write? I mean, who's gonna notice my writing anyway? Who cares? No one cares about that. So I felt like,
But now, how do you feel?
huh?
How do you feel now?
Now I
Yeah.
was a fool. No, really. But I can talk about it later. Why I think now that I'm a fool because before, I would say like my vision or my line of sight is very limited because I'm young and straight from college. I wasn't really a graduate yet, so I don't really know what to do in my life. And I think it's just normal. And I was also going through a lot of stuff, like my dad died. So many things happened. So it's like I have to process all of the things, like grief, sorrow in my own, my own life, my own self. And there's a lot of trauma also in my own life. And yeah, it's a lot of things to deal with. And I even started feeling like creativity is fueled by sorrow. Like for some reason, I felt like if I'm not sad, I'm not creative enough. No, I swear, it's so strange to say it that way, but that's really how I felt before. I felt like if I'm not sad, I can't create a masterpiece because all of the people that we look up to, right? Like, usually they're coming from a deep place of hurt. Like, Van Gogh, so many people. And I used to think that maybe that's why I'm so sad, maybe that's why I have to go through all of these things because maybe that's, as an artist, I'm just gonna be a starving one though. So, yeah. Anyway, that's my take on the creative burnout part. But I had like different stages also of creative burnout. It's like the first time, that was the first time, and then the next time was, I think, I'm already working. I had like this cool cool thing, cool idea. I would say it's still creative, when I start baking cakes for people. Because, it requires you to be creative to create a cake. a personalized one for someone, right? Because that's what I thought of, because I really like food. I like desserts, I like creating things. I like making people happy. So I think that's why I became a baker. I learned that by myself, and it was going well for me. But then, my business just it failed, and yeah, I felt depression, because of the failure. Because it failed because of me also. I think like it's me, not really directly me, but it was someone that I trusted, and then you know he didn't do what he's supposed to do. And of course, as the leader or as the owner of the business, you're still the one in charge, so you're the one that's responsible for everything, even it's not you directly that did the problem. So yeah. Made me burn out again. And then the last one I think was when I became a streamer. Yeah. So I mean, many people know that already. I got so burnt out because I play games for a living, and playing games used to be some sort of like an escape for me. And then when you start doing it for making money, I think that's when it starts gnawing at you. So yeah, many stages, right? It's crazy. I think it's not only one time naman that you feel creative burnout also. So I think it's just fair to say that everyone goes through it if you're an artist. Even not an artist, it's just that this one that we're gonna talk about tonight is creativity. It's about creative burnout. So yeah, stay tuned. We're gonna be talking about it more. So this is our first ever, no, not first ever, third, actually, third episode of our podcast.
CTRL A. Woo, 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 woo.
Yee. Okay, so since we're gonna be talking about creative burnout, what is creative burnout, anyways? We've been sharing already, but we don't really know what it is. So, what do you think? What is a creative burnout, Annie?
Creative burnout. The reason it's different from regular exhaustion is, well, with exhaustion, it can be physical. It can be things like, I just don't want to go to work today. With creative burnout, it's more of you feel like there's something holding you back. It feels like even if you just go and be there, and, even if you're physically available, you just feel like you can't complete what you need to do because it's not good enough, or because nothing's coming out, you don't feel inspired. It's a very abstract exhaustion.
You think like burnout is also depression, or it's different?
I think it can be caused by depression.
Yeah, but not the other way around.
Yes.
Mm, I get you. Yeah, I agree. Well,
How about you?
for me, I think creativity is, it's like a cup, you're a cup, and when nothing's really filling you up, you're not inspired, you're not really feeling the motivation to do anything. And I think
Yes.
that's an active thing that you should do. You should actively, do something about it. Because for me, I felt like I wasn't really creative enough when I was in a very dark place, like I said. Because I think it takes a lot from me, the external factors, external things. But when I was also like in deep thought, I was thinking, if wala yung mga yun, if there's no problem in my whole life, right? If I'm not going through that, my dad didn't die, and I didn't stop going to school or all those things, well, would I be still going through the creative burnout? I'd say yes. It's crazy, right? I think it is still gonna happen because I don't really have a purpose. It's like when
True.
you just like doing it, but it's not really enough to keep you going.
Yeah.
It's like, eating, let's say you're eating your favorite food, like sinigang. Sure, you crave it, but when you eat something else, I think like it's still gonna fill you up anyway. It's like, it's just the same, right? You're just eating food. But you don't really feel the need to keep going and just seek for sinigang alone, you know? Whatever's available, you're gonna eat it. So I think it's the same thing for me. It's just craving for this thing, but it's not enough to keep me going. So I think I will still
Yeah,
go
yeah,
through the creative burnout anyway, even without those things. So I think that's true. It's different from just being tired. You know, you feel different. Like you just feel like there's nothing coming out. So yeah.
mm,
So we already talked about our personal experiences with burnout. So now let's talk about the signs of burnout. Like how do you know when you're
uh,
burned out?
mm, speaking from an artist's perspective, right? It's when um, you feel like you're just looking at a canvas and you don't feel like anything's coming out. You're drawing things, but they don't feel like they're coming from you. It just feels wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think if you're writing, maybe it's more of like you feel like the story isn't maybe going anywhere. You don't feel like you can
It's not
write
giving.
something. It's not giving. Yeah, exactly. I think that's basically what it is when you're burned out. It just isn't giving. Nothing's giving. And the reason it's so annoying is because, of course, you can't just grind through it. It's not like math. It's not. It doesn't have like a solved equation. Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. I agree. And it's really different from being fatigued, just like because you did a lot of work. But you can
Yeah.
feel it, it's like the same, like it has similar symptoms. Like you feel like your body's just so tired. I don't know if you guys can relate
Yeah.
to this, but I also felt that way. Like when I'm just staring at my screen, for like a long period of time, or like when I have a piece of paper and I have to write something. Um, I know it when it's happening because it's so not me, because I know myself. Like I know that if I have paper or anything on in front of me, I can just, you know, come up with something. And when it happens, I can't come up with something. So it's I really see it. That's one of the signs. Like if I can't really do anything, no matter how much I try.
Yeah.
Yeah. And for some people, I think they also say that, when about creativity, it's like really connected to your emotions, right? So, you know, you become numb and,
Yeah.
you have that feeling of dread. So, I don't know about you if you feel that way also emotionally. Hi, Jumar. Hello. Hello. Why are you stopping, bro?
Me? I thought I'm
Yeah.
Jumar.
No, I'm talking to you. Like, how about you? What do you feel when you're having this emotionally?
Mm.
How do you feel?
Well, it sucks. It's really depressing. I mean, but at the same time, you can kind of tell that when you're going through it, it's also a sign that you're gonna do a breakthrough.
Oh, wow. That's how you
I
see it?
mean, I think you can't have creative burnout unless you're really putting in the work, unless you're trying to get better.
That's true.
If you're always drawing, what's fun for you, I think you'll never have creative burnout. So I think it's also, a good thing. It's like a fever, right? It's a sign of your body fighting for something.
Wow. That's an interesting perspective. But for me, I feel like it's the end of the world.
I get that.
No, it really feels like that. There's no hope. You suck. It's like that. Yeah. Everything feels meh. Yeah, that's really how it is for me.
I get that.
But I think creativity is, like I said, something that needs to be filled. So you can't really have it on your own. I think as an artist, we're like sponges. We have to suck something, to give something. So, we need some sort of soap so that we could make it bubble. And I think when you are creative, naturally, you lean towards things that resonates with you as an artist. Like for example, when you watch a movie, you only watch the things that you like, And when you listen to music, you only listen to music that you like. But creativity actually comes in different forms and different ways. But the one that's like the most effective for me creatively is I put myself in a situation where I would feel something. So it could be like sometimes I talk to people, sometimes I do this. It's like I do a podcast randomly
Yes.
because I don't want to be burnt out. And I think I have to um talk about my thoughts out loud so that I could organize them. So everything that I'm doing right now is to avoid creative burnout. Anyway, so how do
So
you
what do
know
you do
when
to
you're
avoid creative burnout?
sorry?
So what do you do to avoid creative burnout?
You were gonna go there already?
Okay.
How do I do it? How do I stop it from happening?
How do you prevent it? How do you stop it?
I think it's just maintenance, really. I mean, you know yourself already. I think as an artist, your journey is to know what makes you tick, what makes you feel good with what you do. You know, whatever it is that makes you inspired, you have to keep doing it. But in order for you to also know if that's, because I wait, let's go back to that. Like I don't think that there's a bad form of art. Anything can be beautiful, but it's just really in the eye of the beholder. So when it comes to music, of course, in the ears of the beholder. I'm just kidding. So whatever you do, you have to focus on not really what you're gonna get from it. Just learn to appreciate it. Like sit down and try to just reflect. I think that's the most important thing, because especially nowadays, we're never really truly alone in this world and age. We feel that
Yes.
we have to do something even in like our quiet times, like pooping for example. Tumatae ka na nga lang, may cellphone ka pa, di ba? Like you're not
True.
really having these quiet moments, and I think as a creative, you need those moments because you need to really assess yourself. It's like for me, I'm collecting my box is my brain, and I'm collecting pieces of things every day. I'm just filling my box up. But I don't really have time to really sit down and look at what's inside the box. So you need that time. You need the quiet time to really see what's in the box so that you could get rid of the things that you don't need, or you could keep the things that you want. So that's how I basically maintain my brain, my creativity. Because I really feel that. Sorry, Jumar said, Kalokate beauty is in the eye of the tiger.
Truly.
What the heck? No. No, but that's how I see it. How about you? How do you maintain it? How do you stop it?
Ugh. Honestly, sometimes it's just pushing through it.
Oh, that's
I just feel like I don't know what I can do about it sometimes, So it feels like no matter what I do, nothing feels like it's clicking.
hmm.
So I just push through it. I just keep drawing. Sometimes just the hardest part is just sitting in front of the thing and continuing to draw.
Yeah. Well, I think we're gonna go to the advice part later. I'm gonna talk about that more. But for now, I wanna know how you know if you're tired or you're truly stuck. So you have to ask yourself, am I being lazy? Or is this
Yes.
just a rough patch? Like it's those questions that really makes you understand yourself more. Like I said, it's like self-reflection. You have to ask yourself because you know yourself. Are you just being lazy, or are you going through something? And I think it's important to know those things because that's how you know what you're going to do next. So if
Yeah.
you're just being lazy, then don't be lazy. No. But there's a reason why people are lazy. It's a habit din kasi. I have this book before that I read. It says you have to keep doing something for 30 days or more for you to make it a habit. So habits don't really break easily because you get used to it. You get familiar with that feeling of just not doing anything. Procrastination is very common, I think, for artists, because when you procrastinate, you feel like you still have time next time, and I think that is already it's a killer, of your creativity. You have to really tell yourself what your priorities are and what you're doing this for. You have to keep reminding yourself every day, not just, once a month or once a week. You have to do it every day talaga. For me, it's like my self affirmation for being an artist, because it happens, I mean, even recently I told you, right? Like sometimes I feel like, what is this for? I mean, many people are giving me that comments, about my book. And they say like it's really inspiring, it's good, you know. But even those good stories, I mean good stuff that they say to you, it's not enough to fuel your passion, because affirmation is not really what keeps you going in the first place. It's really your purpose. Why are you doing it? You have to know that. Because if you're just doing this because you think you're cool and you think that's the only talent you have and you have to have some sort of talent to survive, I think that's why you don't have it in you to really keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah, and with what you said, I think it's a valid point, like when you say that sometimes you just don't feel like you can do anything about it, and it's okay also, there are times like that, but you have to get tired of it at some point, you can't
Yes, I
keep
am.
beating yourself up for it, like people always say kasi parang it's okay not to be okay, but sometimes people are overdoing that also. I think like people always say something, and then how do you know, right, where to draw the line? And I think it's when it's already affecting others around you. You know what I mean? It's not just you now. It's also affecting others. Like they already see that you're getting depressed, you're not really doing what you're supposed to do. Us as a couple, I think if it's already affecting our relationship or how
Oh, for
I
sure.
view you, I think that's when you should know when to stop, Like you should stop doing that. Because you're not just alone anymore, like you're already with someone that you could share your thoughts, your innermost thoughts, the things that makes you mad or anything that makes you emotional. I think I have to know about these things.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's why we're
So
married.
that's true. But you're very bad at that though.
Oh, sorry, no.
No, I swear, like you're very bad at it. Is that bad to say? I mean, I think it's something that you need to work on also. Like you're very
You're right.
bad at expressing yourself. Which is weird because we're artists, That's all we do. We self-express. How No, I swear, it's crazy. But that's what you're bad at. I want to know also, like, what started that anyway? Like, how did you become that secretive, that mysterious, that, like, just closed?
It all
Did
started when I
something,
was a
right?
child.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm just kidding.
You kidding or...
I don't know. I've been this way ever since. I think it's because I was partly I used my whiteness as an excuse. I was always born separated from others. I was different looking. I don't live near my school. I don't live near any friends. I don't have any neighbors. I always felt like I was just different. People treat me differently, so I just kept to myself because I was worried.
Ah,
People will have impressions of me.
I think that's like also like a form of self-sabotage, no?
Yeah, for sure.
That's sad.
Sorry, now.
No, I swear, it's crazy. I mean, when I met you, I already know that you're very different from anyone that I've met because, well, first of all, you don't really have the usual ego that people have, but it's a good thing also. But there's also like, of course, it's like a set of good things and set of bad things that I've never encountered before, you know? So I think with you, I like that you're not really judgmental, you're very open minded. But the problem with you, though, is I mean, as a creative, you tend to focus so much on the wrong things, I think. Because you're very prone to burnout, and I could see it. And with me naman, I know that my burnout also comes from you. And it's hard because I don't want to align myself with you because I'm an individual. And I know that I could do things alone. But now I think because I got married with you, I think it's just natural to really be this way. So I have to also change my it's like my thoughts because I can't really control it by not caring about you. Of course, I have to care about you, but I also have to teach myself not to be affected by you as much anymore. But I don't even know if that's possible.
That's true. I also feel the same way. If you're in a bad mood, I'll get in a bad mood too. If you're, you know, frustrated, I'll get frustrated too.
Yeah, but I rarely feel that way anyway. I mean, I only feel that way sometimes, like when I'm going through some stuff in my personal life, like not really because of like creativity. Um, yeah, but I think it's very similar to depression. And whenever I get burnt out, I really fall asleep all the time. I feel sleepy. Even like today, I was like searching because I've been sleeping these past few days. And I mean, to be fair though, I take medication. I took medication recently. So I was thinking like maybe that's what's causing it. But not really. No, it's not really because of that. I've been feeling this way. I'm lacking sleep these days. Like I feel like I couldn't sleep much and I'm like getting really angry because I couldn't sleep. It's like, and our cat also is meowing all the time and always calling for me, and these disturbances really makes me sleep deprived and I don't really know what to do about it. But I was thinking if I can fix all of those things, would I have a better mood, or is it really something internal that I have to assess and have to deal with? So, yeah. Hello. Why so quiet, sir? Are you all right?
Just a talker, even on podcasts. But so you think your sleepiness is due to medication or it's internal, like depression?
I mean, that's what I was saying, right? I just explained it that I think it's really something internal.
Mm. Oh,
Yeah.
you don't think it's
And
anything to do with like the quality of our air or anything?
no,
Oh,
no. But it could also be a factor, right? Of like what starts you from feeling, uncomfortable and then, things happen. But no, I think this is like deeper. It's like
mm.
something that I have to really find out and, figure out
Do you have any ideas?
where it starts. I mean, when it starts or
Hmm.
what? Ideas of what?
What's related to it, like triggers.
Oh, triggers. Um, trigger. I think I'm triggered when, well, we're working together, and I feel like I'm triggered when we don't work together. That's the trigger. Like I feel like what should I do about this? Like, should I just like stop doing this? Because I'm getting really frustrated.
Right.
Yeah, and I don't know what to do about it because I can't really force you to talk to me, and I can't force you to speak up on things that you don't want to talk about. And, for me, I also don't want to talk, to be honest. I wanted to just really have my own peace, like as a woman, as a wife. Sometimes, like, I also have those moments, like, I just want, like I said, I need to be alone, I need to be away. And I think space is really my friend. I'm always like that girl anyway. Like ever since before I even met you, I always have time for myself. Like I just like leave, I leave everything and I come back and I start out again because I think what's really making me feel not depressed but maybe close to that is I'm always just stuck at home and I've never been this way before. I mean like I always like being home, but before I always find reasons to go outside and see people, see nature, see whatever I want to do. And it's just harder now because I'm married. And I don't want to resent being married, but sometimes it's the reason why I have to be home, because I think like the family's gonna fall apart if I'm not home also. Like I have to always be responsible. And it's like there's no turning off, you know, or being like a wife or a mom. I always have to be here.
That's true though. I mean, it would fall apart if you're not.
Yeah. And that's why also I don't like that. I want to change that, because I want also people to function without me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand. But how can we?
What do you mean? Yeah. But of course, it's not like one whole year and I'm gone. It's like, a few days off, away from everything, just to, because I'm a writer, it's hard, It's hard when I'm just like faced with a lot of challenges and responsibilities every day. And I can't even do anything else except just like cook food, clean the house, deal with that, take care of the baby, take care of you. It's just too much, Sometimes like you have to really have a safe space. And I think because in our house also, our house is like really tiny, I don't have that place to really be just myself, Like be alone, think, do whatever I want. Maybe like sip some matcha or whatever, even if I don't drink matcha.
You think you'd ever be a matcha drinker?
No,
Even if you're like older, maybe your taste will change.
no,
Oh,
no.
why?
I'm just really stubborn.
I see.
Yeah.
But you're not stubborn when it comes to me, though.
What do you mean? What the heck?
You're willing to change your habits if, I help you find new things to like.
Depends. I think like I just find it cool when you introduce things to me, but when you don't, I just feel like okay, I could live without it. Anyway,
Wait,
so let's talk about
let
just
me just
self.
open the window.
Go ahead. So yeah, we're talking about finding out if we're just tired or truly stuck. So what do you really ask yourself to self check?
Sorry?
So we've been talking about if we're tired or truly stuck, right? Like how do you assess yourself? How do you self check? What are the questions you ask yourself?
It's no, I don't think you need to ask yourself questions if you're stuck. I mean, to get out of it?
No,
Is that what you
you
mean?
have to, right? Because you have to know if you're just tired or you're just truly stuck, you have to really know
Um,
those things. You can't be just like dealing with everything with the same tools. You know what I mean? Like, for example, you're sad. How do you deal with sadness? Then you should just like cut off what makes you sad and, try to not think about it. That's the solution to that. But of course, you can't deal with everything with that. Because what if you're not really sad? You're just tired.
yes. True. Hmm. But I just don't really think about those things.
What do you mean?
If I'm, if I have a burnout, for me, it's very obvious because that's 99% of what my problem is. Usually I'm not too tired to do it. I think the only time I would ever be too tired to do it is if I'm like sick, like with a fever or something. But 90% of my issue is really burnout.
Hmm. Well,
But,
I think like it's hard to really it's hard to ask you these questions
hmm,
because I think like naturally you don't really think about these things.
I don't. That's true.
Yeah, but I think you should start doing it because clearly it doesn't work, right? Your
Hmm.
methods don't work because you're always experiencing it. You're always having a burnout, so there must
Can't
be
deny
something
that.
wrong with what you do or how you deal with things.
Yes.
So I think it's very important to really self check, to ask yourself things like are you sleep deprived? Are you eating well? Is it outside stress? Is your husband, annoying or your wife is just nagging you. You know, those are like factors. And
Yeah.
there's also another question that you could ask yourself: is the project the problem, or is it just how I feel about it? You know, like I don't like the project. I don't really see any point in doing it. I think that's how you know if you're just tired or you're truly stuck, because you will have answers to those things. And when you have the answer, then how do you deal with it? You would know how to deal with it because of the answer that you get from it, right? So I think the red flags of being truly stuck or having this burnout is you have dread in every idea. Like nothing really excites you, even when you sleep. After you sleep, when you wake up, you're still angry about it. So that's how you know you're not really tired. But I think you have to do all the methods first, you know, like you have to take care of yourself first and then ask yourself if you're just moody, you know, you're just having those days, because sometimes we feel that way. Like, you know, mood also is a factor.
Yes, that's true.
Especially like this skill, you know, it's very moody.
I agree with that. I mean, so how would I diagnose myself? You know, help me right now. How do I diagnose me? What do I do?
I just said it.
So I should ask myself questions. I mean, I'm well fed in a man. I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I'm physically lacking energy.
Yeah.
Mentally, maybe I'm lacking a lot of energy. But for me, that's every day.
I think your problem really is that you don't have the heart for this project. Like you don't
Mm,
really feel in love with it. You're not really into it. And I think it's fair. And I think you have to be honest with yourself and to me also. You have to be honest with me because I'm your partner when it comes to this project as well. And I think you're dragging us down if you feel this way, you know? It's also more problematic, I think, if you would not accept the truth because you can't deal with it. I'm not saying like you stop doing the project because that's not really how you deal with things like this. The burnout happens because you're not in love with it. You know, I mean, I'm specific with you. Like, I'm diagnosing you right now because I know you and I've seen you, and I know when you're really into something, you're really, you know, nothing's gonna stop you. You get it?
I get it. I get it. Hmm.
Why are you so quiet?
I have to think about what that means. You know, what do I do about that?
What do you think?
Uh, Usually I don't really do anything about it. I just keep going.
Then I think it's time for you to also know how to do things differently because it doesn't work, right? Like I said, you know, you're still there, you're still burnt out. So, how do you deal with it? I think first is you rest, you know, take a break. Like, don't think about it anymore. Really let go. Because I think that's also how I was able to regain my strength when it comes to creating. I just let it go. I felt like it wasn't really in my control. Even when I'm working with you, I felt like when you said before, you know, that you don't want to work with me, I was thinking at first, you just said that because you want to hurt me, because you want to get even. Sometimes, you know, men do that. They're dumb. They just say things and then they don't really mean it. And then they say sorry about, you know, I mean, they say sorry and then they do it again. I think it's just human nature. And I always experience that with men, you know? They always say something that they don't really mean and then they get back to their old ways anyway after you forgive them. So I think I'm still in the middle. I don't really know if you're feeling angry towards something that the project is just getting affected, or you're really, you know, you really probably want to do something else, you know?
I can't even tell myself.
Hmm?
Well, I don't know how I can figure that out.
What do you mean? I just like said to you how you can figure it out.
By just taking a break, letting go.
Yeah. Right? Because sometimes, you feel like, okay, I can do something about this. I can change. But how? How are you gonna change? You're still in the process of, you're still part of it. You're still doing it. But you're not changing. So how do you know that you can change later on? There's nothing wrong. I mean, there's nothing different with what you're doing now.
There. Hmm. But I don't know. I just feel like I've taken too many breaks already.
Well, there are 3 things that feel like burnout but aren't, you know? Number 1 is
Yeah.
learning something new. People are just sometimes stubborn. They don't want to learn anything new. They don't want to do something new because it makes them challenged and they don't like the challenge. That kind of challenge. So, when you play games, right? You feel like, okay, I can do this. I can fight them. But what if like the game is entirely new and you don't really know how to play it and everyone's just good around you? That's what you think. So you feel like, okay, I don't want to play this. I'm good with Valorant, so I'll just go back to Valorant. That's one factor. Second is, you're working outside your comfort zone. You feel like, I don't want to be uncomfortable. So I can just go back to being comfortable, which is just being a piece of work. Because, sometimes it's easier to really make people carry your weight, And I think with us, most of the time, I think you're so comfortable that I'm carrying most of it, Because I'm very strong, you always think like, oh, there's no way she's gonna quit. But wait until I really quit, you know what I mean? Like when I quit, there's no turning back because I'm that type of person, When I don't see any point anymore, I stop. Because that's really gonna take a lot from me for me to stop something. It's not just like an instant thing, that I deal with. Hi, Ron.
I understand. I don't want to rely on you though.
Or maybe imposter syndrome also. That's also another thing. You think you're not good enough, like you always have like these stupid excuses in your brain and then you just entertain them because you think it's easier to entertain being that, accepting that, so that no one can say to you and hurt you. I think that's very cowardly. Yeah. When people do that, I don't know why they do it, to be honest. It's like, okay, you tell yourself you're not good enough. Do you really believe that, though? Because if you do believe that, then stop. Because you have no space in this, in this world. For me, that's how I see it. It might be cruel to hear that, but it's true. If you keep saying that you're not good enough, then why are you doing it? To be good enough? But why do you keep saying it then?
I get that, yeah.
So I think imposter syndrome is true. It's real, we all feel that. I also feel that. But I don't think it's something that you need to say out loud anymore.
Yeah, that's true. You don't have to tell people you're not good enough. I mean, they can see.
Yeah, because people have an opinion, and you can't change their opinion of you.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to show what you can do, and if people say you're not good enough, then accept it. But does it mean that it's true? Maybe. But who cares, Really, who cares if you're not good enough? Who really cares? Like you care. So stop caring because it doesn't help. It doesn't make you a better artist. And accepting criticism doesn't mean that you are accepting defeat, like you're just allowing people to say whatever they want. They just say that because sometimes there are many factors also why people criticize our work, Number 1, they can't do anything. They can't do what we're doing. So they can just say something because, it's easier to say something. Number 2, well, they just don't like you. So whatever you do, they don't like also. And third, you're just really not fitting, the standards. Sometimes people really say that because they think that they're helping you, but don't take it too personally because everyone can change, everyone can get better.
Agreed.
So yeah.
Everyone wants to get better, Even the masters want to get better, so
Yeah.
relax.
How do you know when you're getting better? That's the thing, right?
I think the only time you know you're getting better is if you can tackle things that you didn't like.
Hello, Ron. 1K na? Ang alin? Hi, Christian. Sorry, what did you say?
I think you only get better when you can tackle things you didn't like.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people avoid certain things in art,
If
drawing
they
things they
don't
don't
like
like
it.
certain things, but there's a reason everyone likes things. So you have to understand that.
For me, I think whatever it is that is the reason for people to stop creating is not important. It's not
Mm.
important, because okay, let's say um this is like really something. I heard this before, so I'm just gonna mention it. My girlfriend left me because I used to be an artist, and then she was my number one fan. And when we broke up, I just like lost interest in what I do. I feel like I'm not supposed to be doing that because I think she's the only one that believes in me. Yeah, you should just stop creating, honestly. When it's like that, just stop it because it means it's not really for you. That's really how I see it. If you think that you're just creating for someone and not for yourself,
Mm.
you shouldn't do it
Mm.
because you will find reasons to blame that person or whatever it is. You will have scapegoats. You will have reasons to just say, I stopped doing it because of this, because of that. I think as an artist, you should not have any excuses. Just create because you like it.
True.
So when you
True.
stop, you have no other person to blame but yourself.
Hmm.
And yeah, I think that's what it is. To also know how to deal with burnout because sometimes like you're just maarte, really. There are times that we're just maarte because we're artists.
Right. That's true.
No, we really feel emotional about everything. We romanticize our art. We make ourselves feel we're putting ourselves in the place of vulnerability because I think to be a good artist, you have to be a vulnerable person of some
Mm.
sort. You have to really show who you are in your art because people can see that. It's like getting naked in public. That's
That's
really how
true
it
because you're
feels
really
like.
showing everything about you.
Yes. And sometimes
Mm.
people have a problem with that. Does it mean that people are okay with voyeurism when they're artists? No.
Maybe.
No. But you have to start seeing your art as an extension of you, not your whole personality.
Yes.
It's like when you cook food and you cook well, it's an extension of you. Like you make the food taste nice, but it's not because that's the only thing you could do in your life. You have a lot of things, you have a lot of aspects. And yeah, it's important to remember that. Because sometimes like when you're an artist, everybody says that, and it's like the whole thing is just about that. So sometimes even like their personal life, they show it too much, and then they get angry when people say something about it. Let's say like they're saying, "Oh, I'm just expressing myself. Why can't you accept it?" Well, people have it's like respect goes both ways.
Yes.
So if you wanted them to respect you, you have to also respect them by not forcing ideas or forcing them to appreciate you and your art.
Mm.
And you'll be surprised of how much artists are doing that. I see it a lot. Even in the industry, it's ridiculous.
Mm.
Like, okay, like the recent one that I read was, um, yeah, the Oshinoko one, the issue.
Oof.
I just hate that he said that he didn't expect it to become viral or become big, bigger than what he ought for it to be. Like, why would you say that about your work? So you're saying that you're just limiting the appreciation of people, so you want to manipulate others. You want the people to just, you have an expectation.
Yeah.
And I think it's just really excuses. No one says that. No one says that. Like, I didn't know it'll become big. But I made all these concepts for myself. It's so weird.
There's no shot. I mean, I don't think that guy really thought it's not gonna become big, did he? That's so stupid.
But that's what he said, so I
His
guess.
first anime was, I mean, his other anime was massive, and he thinks his next anime is not. That's kind of.
Sus.
I wanted to write this, just for the niche guys in me, the. No, it's too popular. I hate it. Ugh.
That's true.
Don't pretend, bro. If you just had burnout, if you just are tired, just say it, bro.
Yeah.
It's not that hard.
And that's what happens when you have unsettled issues within yourself as an artist. You just start blaming other things,
Mm.
You just become this like really ridiculous type of person. I don't know. I've never heard of that before, but I swear it's crazy. I mean, I think like when you're put in a position that's very uncomfortable, you tend to say the things that's really in your heart, and that's why if you want to be successful in this business and in this space, success can be subjective, of course, but I think success means you are able to do something freely. You have freedom to do whatever you want to do without any restrictions, in yourself and your art. For me, of course, I wouldn't do this if I don't want it to succeed, if I don't want people to see it.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of stupid to say that, actually, but I understand
If
why
you really
he's saying
want
it.
it, then just don't publish your work. Bro.
That's true.
If you want to make it for yourself, just make it for yourself. If you want to pass it on to certain people, pass it on to certain people.
I think he said that because he was, I mean, as a creator, I think at some point you get really angry with the things you used to love. It's like relationships, you used to like it and that's why you created it, but you started hating it because you think that it doesn't really serve you the same way that you wanted it to anymore. Like before, maybe he started it as like a self-expression, and then later on it became like this thing that he has to keep up with. Like I mean, everything has to have some sort of like hard work, right? Of course, he has to show up for work every day. He has to like do it every day, and it's really hard. Behind the scenes, it's really hard, especially if like you're in that scale where everyone's talking about it. There's so much pressure, but that's when you should shine. It should not break you. It should make you.
That's right. That's right.
So how can you call it success if it's not what's happening, right? So I think if that's what you're aspiring to have, like, because I hear this also from other artists, they also kind of say, in the forums, like they would talk about it, like, if I'm him, this is what I'm gonna do. No, 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 no. Don't compare yourself to him because you'll never be him because you're not the same.
True.
So I think instead of saying that, keep doing what you do and focus on your art. Focus on what you do instead of just judging the artist, really. I'm not judging him by saying that. I'm not making fun of him by saying that. I just think that it's ridiculous, and that's my opinion. But I'm not saying that because I think he's a crappy artist. Actually, I'm just disappointed because I expected so much from him because he's a good artist. I've seen what he could do. He even did the first part of that series, and it's good. So, of course I expected a lot from him because I saw what he could do, his potential and everything.
He let us down.
Yes. He let Aqua down. Sad.
True though. I read that. Oh my goodness.
One of the biggest L. Oh, okay. So, let's talk about how to fall in love creating again. Because since we've already talked about you know, how to know if you're having a burnout or you're just tired, and how to also navigate through it. Let's talk about how to fall in love with creating again, because I think it's very important. This is what I was saying to you a while ago. It's crazy. I even mentioned it before I
Sure.
even, saw this part of the segment, because
Sure.
it's really about falling in love. It's like a relationship, when you see a girl and you fall in love with her because she's like a good girl, she's kind, she's beautiful, she's talented, you see
Mhm.
all the good traits. And in any relationship, of course, there's a stage where you become comfortable because, once you settle in and you know that you're an artist and you could do all these things, you start seeing a bigger picture. And sometimes it's not even necessary to see all of those things, but because you want to create more, you want to learn more, you want to be better at what you do, you tend to see all these things. But how are you gonna be, how are you gonna stand firm by falling in love again with creating, So, what's our tips to fall in love with creating again? Ikaw muna.
Oh boy. To fall in love with creating again, huh?
Yes. Of course, this is for you as an artist and also for the people that are watching.
For me, I like watching um things that you like, in terms of art. What it, usually inspires me to draw again and again is just seeing things that other people have made that you already, that you also resonated with before, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes for me, it's like games, like, whoa, what an amazing game. That's really cool that he could make that. Or, what an amazing movie, what an amazing story. Look Back is a good one. Things like that. I think it's important to have it's important to like things about what you do anyway, right? That's what you said. You
Mm-hmm.
don't have to necessarily always like what you do, but you have to at least like the medium, I think, personally.
Yeah.
That's what
So
keeps me going.
that's how you fall in love with creating again. You watch things that would inspire you.
Yeah.
Mm. Yeah. I think that's good. For me, I think art, besides that it's very emotional type of skill, I think it's very spiritual also.
Mm.
I mean, I've also been lost before, like I'm always like just doing what I want and I'm relying on the want, the want part. And I found out
Right.
that that's very unreliable because it's very moody, like you feel like, okay, today I like to do this and tomorrow I don't like to do it. I like to do something else.
Mm.
And I think it's not really effective, and I think you have to have some sort of faith in something to really create something. And for me, I found that in God, I felt like
Yeah.
he's the best creator ever. I mean, I've seen what he could do. He even created
Mm.
us who could create something, So I think it's really a good inspiration to have, to know that he comes from, I mean, he's a very creative person, clearly. But how do you do it? I think to fall in love with something is to also assess what's in your heart, how to fix the bad parts of you. Because I think that's what's really stopping us from being fully free. Because I think
Mm.
we're gonna be unstoppable if I think, we don't have those issues that we're holding on to.
Right.
And for me in
Yeah.
writing, I have to be an antagonist, I have to be a protagonist all at once. And it's very challenging, of course, to do that without knowing what I really stand for.
Mm.
Because when you write, of course, you have to have some sort of wisdom to share to the audience, to the people that are reading your work. So
Yeah.
for me, I think to fall in love with creating again is to fall in love with the reason why I started creating in the first place. I have to go back to that. And for me, I fell in love with not just the process of creating, but also the happiness that I could give to people. I like it when I
Mm.
see people smiling. I know it sounds cheesy, but it's true. That's really how I feel. I feel like when I make people happy, I feel happy.
I noticed that. Yeah.
It's so bad, but I mean, it's so bad in a way that I could get taken advantage of, but I'm working on it. I'm working on that part that I don't have people taking advantage of me anymore.
Oh,
Yes.
that's true. I see that. I see that in you. You like serving people. It's very
Also,
important for someone that's creating like that.
yeah. Also, I think like there are some ideas here to reignite creative spark. So, these are the things that besides what we mentioned, this is like more personal, right? But how about you? What do you think are the ideas to reignite your creative spark again?
Hmm. Let's see. You can try, doing other things, dancing, cooking, other different types of arts, different creative things. Going to a different medium can sometimes help.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
What do you think?
Yeah. One more.
Hmm. Sometimes you just have to look back at the old work that you also made.
That's why I
You
always
can.
ask you, right? To keep it. Like, why are you scrapping it? You just delete it.
I don't like seeing my imperfect self.
No. It's very important. You have to revisit so that you know how far you've gone. Hi,
Yeah.
Kian. Hello. Good evening. Yeah. You have to revisit your old work. That's true. That you loved.
Uh, what if I don't love any of it?
For me, I love everything because I always put love in everything I do. So it's not really that hard for me to revisit those things. Keeps me going.
Mm.
And what makes me fall in love with an art form is when people say what they felt when I did it. It's like I think that's the most satisfying thing for me when someone says what I intended it to be without
Mhm.
saying a word. Like, I'm not like making promises, I'm not forcing them to read my work, but when they say things like the good things about it, I just feel like I'm over the moon. Like I'm like, uh,
True, true.
they said it. Yeah. Well,
It's good.
another one is also, I think this one is very important also to set micro goals. Micros in like small things, not really like huge things, like be the best mangaka in the world. No, like micro goals, like that. For example, like make your mom proud, I think. Or maybe that's too big for other people.
True.
Maybe, like, I mean, make your boyfriend proud, I guess. I think like that was also one of my micro goals before. I told myself before when I was just starting out with streaming and everything, I wanted one day that the people I watch on stream to recognize me, even without me introducing myself. And I've achieved that, so I'm like, okay, I'm satisfied. Yeah, like, when someone that you know in the industry mentions your name and they know you, that's cool.
Mm. Yeah.
Don't you think?
That's why we quit streaming, guys.
Because of that, because I've achieved my goal.
Exactly. It's all
And
your fault.
it's a micro goal because I just like to be recognized for what I do. It's not really like a huge deal for me. I think it's just something that I told myself, okay, that's how I know I've done my part and I did my best. And, people see me as a quality person. So I think that's already good enough for me. I don't really need to be like the best streamer in the world, but I want to be the best writer in the world. That's like another thing, that I'm also dealing with right. And how do I become one? I don't know. I just keep going, and I think it's just important for you to know what you want to be. And it's subjective, of course, I don't know how people even judge these things. They always say, "Oh, the best." Then best-selling author. Like they all say that. And I feel like it's so overused. Everyone's just a best-selling author now, no?
Yes, true.
So I'm not really aspiring to be one because I don't really care about being a best-selling author. I just want to be good enough for myself. So I
True.
would say, okay, then you know, if my children read my work, like years from now, they would say, "Wow, my mom did this. That's crazy." That's what I want to hear.
True.
And of course, lastly, you know, you have to create just for fun, no pressure. Because it's important for us to do that sometimes. Like this, you know, this podcast is that for me. Because I don't really have to do this. I mean, I'm not really doing this for money or for recognition. I just want to talk to you, you know, about things because I think it's important to maintain our sanity because of all the things that we're doing these days, especially book 2 is going to come soon. And, you know, I'm not really dreading it. I'm actually excited for it, which is a good sign.
Me too. I'm also excited for it.
I'm excited for the book cover. That's like, you know, from you.
Oh boy,
Yeah,
that's true.
I'm excited for
I love
that.
that. I'm
So, you
also
know,
excited to do that. Yeah.
the first cover is fire. I mean, as you guys see in the stream on TikTok, if you guys are watching from TikTok, like that one, Ian's did that. He's fire, right?
Hee.
Even though it's a silhouette, it's fire. It's fire. Very fire.
Hey.
Okay. So, this one also is
Yeah.
very important. You have to do a creative detox. So, you have to reset your brain. Take a break from your current medium completely. If you're a writer, then don't write. If you're an artist, just don't draw. But replace it with something playful and unrelated. Like, for us, you know, I think that's why I was asking you, let's play some Valorant again, because that's what we used to enjoy, you know, as a couple. And for others, maybe it's gardening, dancing again, or organizing. I think that's really important pala. You have to have a clean room, guys. Because the problem with creativity also, we have this what we call brain clutter. And, you know, your brain is also messy when your surroundings is messy. So you have to always have a clean space. And as an artist, I think it's just natural that we are all messy most of the time because our brains are just processing so much. But yeah, find time to really clean your space. It's very important.
And deny that.
And
Clean space, clean mind.
yeah. And why does this work? I think it reminds your brain that creativity is not tied to the output or what you do, you know. It's a natural part of just being human, you know. So you have to really do that all the time. You have to have creative detox.
Yes.
How about you, honey?
I think a good way is to maybe just set your goals lower.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe instead of aiming for a full chapter, aim for just one sentence. You know, let's if you're drawing, let's say, maybe just focus on one or two panels instead of the whole chapter. Just keep scratching away at it and try to make it fun for yourself. You know, try
Are
to
you
focus on
talking to
what you
yourself?
like. Yes, I'm
Yeah,
talking to
because you're
myself.
always like go big or go home.
I am a go big or go home kind of guy. You know, it's tough for me. It's tough.
You're crazy because you're like, okay, I'm gonna do all of the panels in 2 days. And I'm like, dang, this guy's crazy.
Tony, no, it's true though. It's true. I can't deny that.
But really,
I'm
better
very
planning, you're right. Better planning is best because you have to really plan. Like, let's say like you have like a big project coming up. Don't do it in one go. I understand, you know, some people like to work under pressure, but really, there's a lot of things that you could do when you plan ahead of time. So, you know, I mean, even with me and Yins, I planned the wedding in a month. But that's a very calculated planning. So it's like each day I'm doing something, you know? Like I'm talking to this, I'm talking to that. If this doesn't work out, then I have plan B. It's like really organized, you know? So even though the time is short, I was productive. And I think that's really important when you have goals. You have to plan ahead so that you don't get stressed with time constraints, because time is also not our friend, when it comes to creating. Unfortunately, he's not really
God is our
friendly.
friend.
God is our friend, but time isn't. So,
True. Can't deny that.
so why does that work? Why do you think that one works?
Hmm. I think it works because you have to enjoy what you do, right? I mean, no matter what it is, and completing something is a lot better than completing nothing, especially in your brain, you know?
That's true.
That's my opinion on that.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Okay. The next one is, I think, create for nobody, not even yourself. I think this is very important also. I have a lot of things like this also. Usually I always just like imagine. I talk about this with you. Sometimes I have like these weird concepts that I would never write. But who
Right.
knows? You don't know, right? So I just keep it on the notes. It's because I don't know if I'm gonna use it sometime later. I don't know. But I just like create for no one. I don't really even create for myself. I just like to see it. And when it's on paper, it's like, wow, this is a cool concept. Okay, moving on. Make something dumb on purpose. It's like,
Yeah.
I feel like it's not really something. Like, just don't take yourself seriously. That's what I mean.
I get you. I get you.
Yeah, because I think like we're
Sometimes you
all
just have to just
perfectionists.
enjoy what you do, no?
Yes,
That's my, I mean, especially I always like focus on what's the best, but sometimes I just want to like draw memes, you know?
that's true, right? And I remember exactly why this works, because there was a time you sketched like the character sheets for our characters when we were creating it, and it was just like the heads, and I created sticker sheets from it, and it's one of our best sellers in the merch. I mean, when you don't really think too much, things just work out.
True.
Like you
That's true.
just have to. I mean, I remember I even created a keychain out of an idea that I had that you didn't even like in the beginning. Like you don't really like. I mean, you didn't really say that you liked it, but I mean that you didn't like it, but I can tell that you were like skeptical, like you know, because you're that type of person, and I already accepted it. Like I'm always alone in these things until I just show you, and then you're like, oh, and yeah, I mean I proved to you that it works, right? So
Yes, you did. You did. I think more
right,
than
there's
anything, it showed me that you're really good at what you do,
that's
especially
what
when it
I'm
comes to like selling
saying,
things.
because when it comes to selling something, you have to really think of the person that's gonna see it, and I feel that that's what they're gonna feel when they see it, because I don't see anything like that before. You know, when I created the keychains, I was thinking, yeah, I'm creating this for someone like me out there, and it worked. I mean, many people resonate with it. When they buy it, they feel like, oh, it's really well thought of, even though it wasn't really well thought of. It's just something that I came up with. So yeah, just make something dumb. Don't think about it too much,
That's true.
because
Enjoy what you
it's
do.
yeah. I think perfectionism is okay in some things, some parts, but you
Yes.
also have to remember how to play. Like, di ba
Mm-hmm.
sabi nga nila, all work no play. That's not good. You should also take it. Simple lang dapat sometimes. Don't take things seriously too much.
Yeah. True. True.
Yeah. How about you next?
Mm, just return to the time you felt magic, you know, and go back to the first time you really felt like, oh, I love drawing, and then you're gonna enjoy it.
Yeah,
I mean, if you just go back to that and try to see why you even like drawing in the first place, what was the first thing you liked drawing, it's gonna help.
that's true. When did you feel that you liked drawing anyway? The first time?
Mm, for me, I used to enjoy like stick figure animations. There used to be like they used to be very big back in the day. Like I like fighting.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, that is so cool.
Yeah.
Mm, I also liked Sonic back in the day.
Oh, Sonic. Mm-hmm.
It's the Hedgehog. And yeah, that was all. I don't know. I was just a fan.
Man, you know, I wish you also saw my old notebooks, you know, when I used to write stories and you will see my crappy drawings. I think it's embarrassing to see it now, but it works at the time and I think it was so cool, you know, that people even liked it before. I mean, that was like a time of my life, you know. One of the coolest parts of my life, I would say, because I just introduced it to one of my friends and, you know, it became big from there. And if it wasn't for that friend that trusted me, you know, to read my story, I think it wouldn't really happen. And yeah, I like that part of my life because it really made me understand that writing is not really something that I just do because it's for me. I really want to be part of people's lives and I think this is the best way to do it, you
Mm,
know, just
that's
to
true.
impart something. And I've always been a fan of stories that make a difference, you know, like Rizal. I mean, sure, Rizal invigorated us to fight against the Spaniards back then, and then many people died after that. It was a sad thing, but it shows that stories are not just stories, you know. It could make a difference in the world, and
Yes.
yeah, it's a crazy thing, you know. It's like a novel that changed everything for us. So yeah, I think burnout can make you forget why you started. So reconnecting with your origin story resets your emotional compass. So you know it's important for us to really remember why we were doing this in the first place. So artists, don't forget what made you write or draw or do whatever you're doing right now in the first place.
True. True. You have to remember what you loved.
That's true. Okay. For me, the next one is also no to productivity guilt. Guys, this is like
That's very.
something that I've
Yeah.
had for a long time. A long
That's
time.
true.
I swear, this is the killer talaga. Like, this is what makes you burnt out. Number one talaga for me. I have this productivity guilt. Like, I feel like if I'm not doing something, I am not good. Like,
Mm.
it's like
I
there's like
understand that.
this
Same.
internal father or mother inside your brain that's smacking you every time you're not doing anything that's artistic, which is stupid. I think it's stupid because we're parents now, also, you and I, right? And
Yes.
when we see our daughter and she's just like doing her thing, you know, she's living her life and she's just enjoying, we're not like that, right? Like, we're not hard on her. And we always feel like we're not doing that to ourselves, you know?
True.
We're parenting our child to make, you know, like we're always telling her, oh, you know, you can do whatever you want. You don't have to do something you don't like. But we're not doing the same thing. We're not telling ourselves the same thing. And we're just always guilt tripping ourselves, you know, to doing something. And I think that's the most ineffective way of, you know, doing something. Because, you know, not everything has to be posted or sold or praised, you know? So I
But
think
if it's not getting sold, then how am I gonna be productive?
that is true. No, but it's, I swear, you know, it's not really the definition of productivity because I think for me as a streamer, this is like something else that I learned earlier on because I did not make money for the 6 months of me streaming. I streamed for 4 years and I did not make money for 6 months. I mean, it's just really short, but for, you know, for some people it's even years, right? I heard like some people even like 2 years na wala silang kinikita ganun. And I can't blame them if they stop then, right? But for me,
Yes.
I wasn't really doing that in the first place because of that. I was doing that because I was enjoying it. And I was really having fun with my friends, you know, my online friends. I play games. It's the coolest job, I think, you know, ever because I'm playing games for a living. That's kind of, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So, but I'm telling you guys, that's a trap. Because
Mm-hmm.
after doing it for some time, I felt so guilty. Every time I'm playing a game, I had this weird feeling that's creeping up to me and you know, it's telling me, "Why are you not streaming? You're playing, right? Like why don't you open your camera right now? Show it. People will want to
Mm.
see it." And I'm like, "Uh." was so
True.
scared because this brain feet, I call it the brain feet. I have brain feet that's kicking my own head, telling me to do something that I don't want to do at the moment, you know? But because I'm guilty that I'm not productive enough because I'm not sharing it to people, I feel bad. Yeah.
That specific one, you should feel bad because I also want to see your face.
No. I swear, that's really what made me feel so guilty before. But, you know, I realized when I took a break, I took a break and then I gave up on streaming entirely. I mean, like streaming as in like streaming games every day. I also like felt like I went back again and then the guilt was still there. I was like going back and forth. But the last time I streamed and it was like horror games, I was truly enjoying that part because I felt like there's no more pressure. And I saw like the same people that used to watch me are still the same, in there anyway. So I don't know why I'm so pressured before to just keep showing up, you know? So I think it's important for us to stop the productivity guilt. We just have to stop it entirely, because there's no such thing. No one's going to be angry at you because you're not doing it. It's just yourself or whatever, timeline you have, like the expectation of timeline you have in your brain. Because I think the reason why we're guilt tripping ourselves is because, oh, my idol, he became successful at like 21 or something because this is what he did. No, we all have different timelines. You don't know what's gonna happen because it might be like tomorrow you're gonna be successful, but you're not ready yet because you did not really get the right equipment to become successful. Like, and then it'll just die down. And I think that's even harder to deal with. So just keep equipping yourself, keep showing up if you wanted to, but if you don't want to, it's okay. But it's really like life is not really supposed to be that way, anyways, where you're always showing up for other people. You also have to show up for yourself.
True. That's true. Although I do still fear like the productivity guild, especially when it comes to like time. I feel like, oh, I should be doing this faster. I should be getting somewhere faster.
I mean, deadline is a different story, honey.
Mm.
When you have a deadline, you have to follow it. But when it comes to like productivity guilt, it's different because being productive, like, I mean, as an artist entirely, with everything you do, you just use guilt to keep you going. I think that's not
Mm.
really supposed to be, but the thing that you're using. You're supposed to use your inspirations.
Right.
But deadlines, I'm not saying that you guys don't do it. It's important too, you know? And that's not guilt tripping you. It's true. It's the truth. You just have to follow it. So I think like we're talking about like different languages. If you're gonna say like if you're gonna compare guilt and a deadline, because a deadline is just for order. You understand?
But I mean, for me, it's not really much of the deadlines. I mean, I understand deadlines, but it's more of, my goals in life. And I feel like I should have higher goals.
Why? What are your goals, anyways?
Get Netflix before like 30.
Dang. No, but that one, I understand you. I think that's doable. I think that's
Yeah.
still something. Yeah, it's doable. But you might think like, oh, with the scale of what kind of work I'm doing right now, I don't think I can make it there. That's the pressure, that's the legacy you tell yourself. No, the goal is, if let's say you want to be featured on Netflix as like an anime, then you keep doing what you're supposed to do to have them notice you. So first things first, what do we need to finish? We need to finish the manga so that people have something to use, as a medium. Like
Yes.
they can read it, they can see it. Okay, I see
Mm.
the vision. Because the story, it goes hand in hand with, drawings when it comes to our
That's true.
medium.
That's true.
Because to be honest, I've never seen an anime, or maybe, correct me if I'm wrong, I've never seen an anime that wasn't even at least a visual novel. Or like,
It's very rare, yes.
yeah. Hi,
That's true.
Christian. Good morning, Christine. Love you. Eee. Good morning. So, Yeah, that's just how it is. I think productivity guilt is something that you just use to give yourself an excuse of some sort for you to like keep going. And I don't think that's supposed to be your tool to keep going. You should never have guilt. Guilt is never a friend, you know? It's never something that you could use.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Wow, that's genius.
Why?
Should just take away my guilt. I just feel like there's a lot of guilt sometimes.
It's not your friend, it's a liar. I swear. It's like a, that kind of friend. She's like just saying all these ridiculous things because she wants
You're
you to
right.
fail. And that's what guilt is. Because guilt is just saying all these nice things, but the only purpose it has in your life is just to put you down.
True.
Because that's the
All right.
enemy.
You're right. You're
That's
right.
even Satan, you know? Like, I
How do you
mean,
not guilt though? How do you like prevent that?
the book, even God said with guilt. Wait, let me see a specific verse. What does God say about guilt? There. So the Bible also acknowledges that sometimes guilt feelings can be unfounded or excessive, especially when fueled by lies or condemnation. So I think it's very important that we we make sure that we're not feeling guilt out of lies, you know? Because there's like some sort of lies that we tell ourselves, right? Like let's say, okay, I'm not gonna be successful if I'm like this. So you guilt yourself like
Right.
that. Who says that? I mean, like, what? Who says that? How do you know? Like, who said that? Oh no, because there's like proof, in the world. Like there's like indications. Oh, is that what God says about you though?
Hmm.
That's already like, proving a point that that's not true. Because I mean, if you want to know what God says about it, then read the Bible. You would see in the Bible that he talks about it a lot. That, God has a plan for you, to prosper you and not to harm you, to give you hope in the future. If God said that, that was a promise, one of his promises. It's not something that's conditional. That's God's promise. So if he says that, then why do you keep guilt tripping yourself? It means you don't have faith, It means you don't believe that God can do that for you. You know what I
Ganun
mean?
pala. That's
No,
true. That's
really.
true.
Because guilt is really something that I think it's already natural for us to feel guilty, especially, like when Adam and Eve broke God's law, right? They ate the fruit
Hmm.
and then, they started feeling really guilty about what they've done because but I think, it's important to have that sort of guilt in the beginning to use to drive us to repentance. But if it's for something else, like besides that, I don't think it's important.
Yes.
Because our conscience tells us to feel guilty if we did something wrong. But you should never feel guilty for not doing something because it's not a sin to not do something. You know?
Right.
It just becomes a sin when it affects other people and like it's a matter of life and death and then you chose not to do it. I think yeah,
That's true.
that's
That's true.
that's already like something else. But when it comes to like creativity and art, even God rested on the seventh day because he's showing us that you should never feel guilty for just enjoying your art and resting afterwards. You know what I
That's
mean?
true.
And you know yourself, you're
Enjoy
not
the art.
like over resting. With me, I let myself sleep. I know that also. Like, I was already starting to like feel like, I'm assessing myself. I wouldn't say like I'm guilty, but I'm assessing it. Like, am I depressed? Because I think I'm getting there. There's something about it, that makes me feel like sad, So, I have to assess myself, but I'm still assessing myself. I'm not done yet. But it doesn't mean that I'm guilty for, not doing something because I've done my part. I think it was already a success, like the first part of my release. Anything that I could do, I mean, everything that I've done so far, they're already enough, I mean, the numbers are speaking for itself, I could see like people are like into it. It's just that, of course, they're waiting for something else. They're waiting for like the pictures because manga, and I've marketed myself as that. So, of course, people are waiting for that. And yeah, that's where I'm at. I finished the book. I've done my part. What's next? Do it again, the second part, So yeah. And another thing, honey, that's important
Yeah.
is yeah. Yeah.
Oh, talk to another creative person
Yes. That's true. Why do you think so?
because silence is not good.
This
It
is
doesn't
for
help.
you, no? This is for you, no?
It is for me. It's for me. I didn't write the script. I don't always understand.
No, but this is you. That's true.
It is me though. Yeah. I mean, you have to talk to other creative people so that you can also feel inspired because you're not alone in this. You're writing for all. You're also drawing for other people. You might as well learn the craft more by talking to people in that craft as well.
Yeah. That's true. And I think talking to a friend is so important because it could be like a friend that's not really creative. It could be a friend that's creative also. Depends, whoever you trust. It's important that you have someone you trust to talk with. I think it's just really, we're just very blessed that we have each other. That we're doing the same thing, but we could talk to each other, like heart to heart.
That's true. I agree with that. I mean, you're a writer and I'm an artist, so we're not exactly the same in everything, but at least we both understand what we want, you know?
Yeah. And with you, that's very quiet. I think silence is really the food for burnout, When you burn out
Fair
and
enough.
then you're more quiet, heh heh.
True though.
Sometimes you think that's gonna work. Nah. Especially for a
Yeah,
person
you're
like
right.
you that's already like quiet naturally. No, you have to keep talking now.
That's right.
Vent, like say anything that you want to say. Because it's important also to be heard. Because
Mhm.
like it says here, me too is a powerful medicine. If you hear someone says, yeah, me too. Dang. You too?
Thank you too,
Yeah,
for real.
you're not alone, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Oh, that's true. I need you that again.
Eh. Okay. So, now we're going to be talking about the 3 things that we love about creating that have nothing to do with success. Okay, so
Mm,
write down 3 things you love about creating that have nothing to do with success. Okay, I'll say, let's give each other like a minute. I know Jens is gonna take so long to think about
Always the money.
because he has no reason to. What does he
Hmm.
love about creating that had nothing to do with success?
Ugh. Okay. I only thought of one so far.
Okay, I'm done.
Hmm. All right. I
Okay.
thought of one.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
3 things you love about creating that has nothing to do with success. Why do you like creating? Jessica! Hello. Mm-hmm. Okay. I'll go first.
I'm the one starting. Yeah, you go ahead.
Okay. Number 1, I like to make people happy. Yes,
Hmm.
I already mentioned it. That's one of the things I love about creating because when you're creative, you just have a way with people. Yeah.
Hmm.
And number 2, I get to work with my favorite person, of course, you.
Hmm.
No, I swear, it's like one of the things. Kaya it's like it's cool, man. Like I don't get to hear that often. Like people say, "Oh, I'm working with my husband on something," and I
Hmm.
get to say that. I get to say that. I have
We're
that
the
card on
same.
my, my chest. It says, working with husband. I'm so proud of us,
Mm,
I'm proud of what we could do together. It's crazy, I didn't really think of it much before, but if it's not from God, then who did this? Why did we
mm,
see each other and we just have like, you know, a lot of things aligned with, you know, everything that we do is just perfect match. And of course, the third is, I make the world a better place than when I found it. I think, like I said, as a writer, I have a way that I could change the world in my own way. Because Rizal did it, why can't I do it? Right? And we've
mm.
seen a lot of like people in the pop culture, in the scene, like they're all, when they become successful, you see their characters being played. You see people even loving their characters so much that they become like boyfriends and girlfriends. But that's not really what I'm after. you know? It's
Yes.
more on like the heart, because I want people to see my heart and see that
Oh,
it's full of love. Eee! Okay, so that's all.
it
How
is though.
about
It
you?
is though. I only thought of two so far.
Mm-hmm.
The first one is, I think it's one of those things that no matter how old you are, you're never really too old for art
That's true.
to make, especially. Other things like esports, things like that, everything that like kind of fades with time. If you're, I mean, you can always love games, but you can't always, be in the top end of the esports scene,
Mm-hmm.
things like that. Also with athletics, with sports, and everything. But I mean, you can always like shift to becoming a coach, right? But I think some people just want to stay as a player. But
Yeah,
what I think about art is it's something that really grows from the day you're born to the day you die. You never really lose it.
that's true.
And yeah, I think you only go up. There's no downfall when it comes to art.
Mm-hmm.
Now, second thing is, I think curation. I think it's just very important that there's a human touch in things that we consume. I think, you know,
In the light of AI.
in the light of AI, in the light of everything, yeah. I mean, we're always trying to trend towards um robotic things. We're trying to trend towards efficiency, and I'm pretty sure eventually even humans are going to understand the value of human artwork. But I just think it's very cool. It's very good consuming things that are maybe the human touch. You can really see the thought process behind the person.
Yeah.
Those are the two I found so far.
The last one. You have nothing pa? And nothing else?
The third one's kind of hard.
The third one is like you get to work with me, of course. I'm already putting it there.
That's true. That's
No, I'm
true.
just kidding.
I could do that with anything though. It didn't have to be art. I love just being with you.
Oh, thank
It's not
you.
really art related,
Thank you for saying that. You're kind.
Hindi naman. It's true.
But it's true also. I also feel that way. I feel like I'm happy because we get to do this together. And I think it's a blessing.
It is.
That's a
It is.
blessing. That's a blessing.
That's a blessing.
Okay, so um for those that are listening to us right now, I think it's important for you guys to know and put it as like a word of affirmation maybe on your phone or like on your notes or wherever you can find it. Ask yourself what made you fall in love with creating in the first place. And just keep reading that. I think for me, I also do that a lot. As a writer, it's important for me to have those words. Why are you doing this?
True.
So, yeah, don't forget, guys, why you loved creating. And okay, so for our last segment, we're gonna be talking about the comments or like the Q&A, because usually I post it on Instagram story. So if you guys don't really see it, just check my Instagram around Mondays, because our podcast is normally on Wednesdays, and I put it up and I just ask you guys questions of what makes you feel burnt out. And I received some answers, and some are not really related to this topic, so I can't really read it. But there's one that talks about, yeah, I just mentioned it a while ago. It's about relationships. So he said that he felt the most burnt out when it comes to like drawing when his girlfriend left him
Oh.
because basically he's just saying, because it's a long story, he said that he felt like he was guilty of creating more because all he draws and all he makes is just about her. So when
Uh,
she's gone, why are you laughing?
that's hilarious.
Why are you laughing? Wait, don't laugh. They're so mean. So,
I just, that's cool. I mean, I only see that in like, movies, you just draw for one person.
but it happens.
It happens, yeah.
Yeah. So basically, he's just sharing, that he lost the reason to draw when she left him. So yeah, he's asking for like an advice, how to start creating again. And I think I answered most of it already in the beginning, but just to like answer the question, I think it's important that you have another reason to create, because if you believe that you're an artist, you should not be shackled to one person and why you're creating. And it's harder to say that. I mean, like, maybe coming from me and Jens, which are like very intertwined with our lives together. I mean, like, we're married, and I think
Mm.
if he's gone, would I also be able to create again? And I think it's true that it's gonna be hard to hold the pen again and write if Jens would just like die, I think. But
Oh,
yeah, it is hard, but I would still write. I would still keep going because I think that's what he would want for me, anyways. I think he wouldn't want me to stop. So
true though.
I'm not saying that she died though. Like, I mean, it's a different story, of course. It's like a breakup. But just think about it. Like, she just went somewhere else. She's not with you anymore. Maybe there are reasons, we don't know the reasons, but whatever the reason is, she's not dead. She's not in a bad place, and you should also move on and accept that you're just not gonna be writing your story together anymore. In the next chapter, it's just you and it's just her. How about you, Annie? What do you think?
How to draw when you no longer have your inspiration, which is your girlfriend.
Yes.
Hold off. Make your inspiration your wife. Next time, don't make your inspiration someone that isn't married. That's my advice.
What?
That's my advice.
That's so
If you don't
spicy.
if you don't marry her, then don't make her your inspiration.
Why?
It's not worth it.
Because she's gonna go?
Unless you really don't care about art, Because she's gonna what?
Because she might go?
Yeah. And if she could break up with you, then she's really not she's not the inspiration you thought she was, man.
That's true. Well, I agree. That's true.
Make your inspiration better.
Yeah. That's true. Well, yeah, I think you will find reasons again to whatever art, kasi hindi naman niya mention what kind of art he's doing, but I think you will find that courage again to start doing what you're doing, what you used to do. But don't stop because someone that you used to love left you, because it's not the end of the world. There will be other reasons, more important reasons even, to write again or to do something again, to create art for. And that's why I was telling last time, focus on the right things, guys. Feed yourself with the right inspiration. I mean, I'm not saying your girlfriend or your boyfriend is not the right inspiration, but the love itself, focus on the love itself instead of the person, because the love doesn't die, but the person,
True.
they might go, they might leave you, they might betray you, there's so many things, but with
Love doesn't
love,
die,
yeah, the love will, it's still there,
but the person dies.
Yes. So, yeah, I guess that's it for our CTRL A podcast. Let's clap our hands, honey. Let's clap.
Control A.
Yes. we did well. I think our takeaway here is, you know, you're not a broken artist. You're just in need of a reboot. Yeah.
It's fair.
And what about you? What's your takeaway?
Mm, I'll go for a one-piece chicken with rice.
No, take away from this. Oh no.
My takeaway.
Mm-hmm.
I think my favorite. I mean, for me, guilt is not from God, so don't use it. That's me.
Yeah.
That's what I learned today.
Wow. I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you.
How about you, baby?
Yeah, I just said like you're not really a broken artist. You're just in need of a reboot.
Uh,
You know? Yeah.
that's
You're not
what that was.
broken. Yes. But yeah, I'm happy that you learned something.
I did.
Yeah, I also learned something new
So we
from
should play
you.
Valorant now.
Yes, that's the takeaway.
Takeaway. So we shouldn't be guilty.
Yes. It's okay to have fun, you know? I don't know, man. I think like it's also like because the mom guilt and the dad guilt. There's also like
It is,
partly
it
that,
is.
you know, because we're parents
It
and
is.
it's weird to like have fun.
That's true.
But even our daughter is okay with it, you know? She's like, oh, do it. She's even encouraging me to play horror games. It's cute.
True. True.
Yeah. Well, that's it for our Control A podcast. Thank you so much, guys, for watching or listening wherever you are. If you're on TikTok, YouTube, or Facebook, don't forget to follow me here on my Facebook page. It's Queezy, so Kweezy. Jens is not really active, so I can't really plug and promote his social media accounts. It's just, you know, he's a meh kind of social media person. Yeah, he doesn't really care about it
Wait, what time are we
much.
leaving today? I just forgot.
Like, do we really have to talk about it here?
Yeah, we should.
But yeah, we're gonna be going to Wolfex, guys, on
We're
I mean,
vending at
tomorrow.
Wolfpack.
No, we're not vending. We're just gonna be con goers, cause it's like a food expo, guys, tomorrow in SMX Convention Center, 10 a.m. So we have to also rest soon. But yeah, if you guys are gonna be there
I don't
also,
think we can rest
let me
today now
know. Why?
because we woke up late.
Ah, I just have to drink the Simdex and I'll be fine.
GG.
Also, if you guys wanted to also check out my website, it's www.queezy.net. You can buy my merch from there. And soon we're gonna be actually next week, guys. Next Saturday and Sunday, we're gonna be in Patron of the Arts, or they call it POTA. It's kind of weird, but that's how they call it. Patron of the Arts collabs. So it's me and Yins. We're gonna be tabling there at B12. So if you guys are gonna drop by, it's in Bayanihan Center in Pasig. So that's from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. for 2 days. So that's August 16 and 17. So please drop by and say hi. And there's a lot of artists there too besides us. So if you guys are gonna come and check our booth, it's in B12. I have a map also for it. I posted it on my Instagram and also on my Facebook, I believe. But if you can't find it there, you can also check it on the website. It's www.queezy.net. So thank you so much, guys, for watching. I hope you guys have a good night. And I'll see you guys again on Wednesday. And the next episode for our podcast is finding your creative voice and what makes your work yours. So we're going to be talking about that so that you know how to create your own voice, you know? Because I think that's what people lacks these days. They don't really know how to make it themselves, you know, like theirs. So we're going to be talking about that in the next episode. So thank you so much, guys, for watching. I love you all. Good night. Sweet dreams. Need to say goodbye.
Goodbye, guys.
Bye.